What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
Blue, no, 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 no. Your Blue Note fan report with Guy, the Wild Blues fan, and Justin Eagle Eye Scott. How are we doing today, Justin? You are muted.
I'm doing fine. I'm getting ready for the playoffs to start. I'm getting somewhat excited, somewhat like, okay, let's get this going.
I honestly, we talked about this last night offline. I wasn't sure I could do a show today. You can see the bottom. They look a little better. However, right after I talked to you, I was setting the show up, eating lunch. Part of the backside on this side fell out. I lost 3 of my teeth on my new teeth. So I thought maybe I'd have to go back to the doctor, but he can't do anything till Monday. So, but hey, we're here. We're going to do a show. And I got a good treat for anybody that's been watching the show for a long, long time. And Justin, you're going to enjoy this guy. This guy's hockey knowledge is off the chart. Like, he's probably one of the most, and I know a lot about hockey history. This guy probably makes me look small. But let me welcome, and unfortunately, he can't do a video today. He's going to do phone. I know the guy. That's why I'm allowing phone. You know, I normally don't allow that. But please welcome my buddy, my pal, Richard Campbell. Hey, Richard, how are you? You still with me, Richard? Richard. Well, he shows he's here, but he's not hearing me. I hope he may not be hearing me. Well, let's kind of see if he pops in. But what we're going to do today should be a lot of fun. We are going to pick our playoffs. Can you hear me, Richard? Hey, Richard, can you hear me? There we go. We're going to pick them live. I'm actually going to pick mine. I'm going to let you see me pick mine. I have it set up. At least I did have it set up. I have the bracket challenge set up. I'm going to go through the bracket challenge and make my picks. And Justin's going to go along with his. Because he's on a tablet, he can't show you his live, but he's going to tell him. So we'll go back and forth, and hopefully Richard can join us, and we'll go. And we have one more person going to join us, and I forgot to send that person a link. Let me send that person a link real quick, and I'll keep it a secret until that person shows up, so I know he's here. So give me a second. Sometimes I'm a dum-dum. Give me gum-gum. And it should be a fun show. We should enjoy it. On the NHL Bracket Challenge, I'll show it here in a second. Excuse me. I have created a group, the Hawaii Blues fan, the Blue Note fan report. Right? That's the group. Let me share it here in a second, and then we'll try and get going. I guess Richard popped out. He wasn't hearing me. I love Night at the Museum. I don't get that reference. What did I do that makes you think I love that? Share screen. There we go. Okay. So here's the bracket challenge, right? If you go to leagues, right, you can join a league. Come over here, go up here to leagues. Oh, come on, guy, don't be stupid. There we go. Put it down here. You click on leagues, and then you can search for leagues. And if you search, you're going to find search BLUE BlueNote. Let's just search BlueNote, and what do we get? The BlueNote bracket challenge right there. Actually, that's not it. BlueNote fan report. I'm sorry. I don't know whose that is. That's not me. BlueNote fan report. There we go. This is me. I don't know who the other one is. I use just the NHL one. You click on that, and it's going to bring up, and you can put brackets in. We've already got some. Kelsey Max in there. Richardson is in there. I think B Warrior is Stocky. I think ABN is Aaron. It'll be a lot of fun. Oh, the dum give me gum. Okay, yeah, I get it now. I forgot. Hi, Sam. How you doing? It's just that when I do something stupid, that always stuck. So that stuck. Richard's going to try again, see if he can get in. I might resend in the link. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Sometimes they happen. We deal with them. Sometimes they're fun, right? What's on your mind as we get ready to do this show, Justin? What are you thinking about as we get ready to do this? What's on your mind as the playoffs get ready to start?
I mean, my opinion on it hasn't changed. I think my picks might. I don't know if they'll bother people, but they might. I'm gonna go possibly in different directions. I don't know where everybody else is going, but my stance on the playoffs this year, I still view. I know it's a toss up, and I know we got some good matchups here and there, but I view it kind of as a weak bracket, and I kind of stick with that. I don't think it's as strong as the playoffs as you thought it was going to be at the beginning.
Well, I mean, there's only 4 teams that are in the playoffs this year that weren't in it last year, right? The Ducks, the Mammoths, the
Sabres, and
one more on the East. Pittsburgh?
It's Boston.
Boston. Okay.
Pittsburgh, and Boston were not in it. And the Flyers.
Not in it. So 5 teams. So that's actually 5.
Boston, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Utah, Anaheim, Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah. So 5 out of 16.
Six
okay.
out of 16.
Okay, 6. Who's the Buffalo?
Buffalo, Pittsburgh,
the
Flyers, Philadelphia, Boston, Buffalo, Utah, and Anaheim. 6.
Anaheim. Wow. So 4 in the East, 2 in the West.
And that's fine. I'm okay with that being the case. I love seeing new teams in it, but I'm sorry, I just have to call it how I see it. I just look at the bracket, and outside of a few matchups here and there, I can't sit here and say it's a strong bracket. I can't.
To me, if it's a do you mean by a weak bracket like it's an easy path to the final?
Well, I'm not gonna get into anything with that because I don't want to spoil any of my predictions that I may have. So, okay. Just the way that I view it, I just think that when I look at the teams, although I'm grateful that we have teams that have not been in it, and it always makes for exciting times. I just think the matchups that we got, I just think are weaker just because of the standpoint that no one had some of these teams in the playoffs.
And I can understand that. I really can. I'm going to take our normal banner out because with having Richard here. Hey, Richard, can you hear us? You're muted.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Man, but it is great to have you back on with us. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Right? Are you how long are you going to be able to stay with us?
Probably not too very long, maybe 10, 15 minutes, unfortunately.
Okay, so what I'll do then, Richard, since you can't do the full pick like we're going to do because we're going to pick it live, I'll let you kind of go through and tell what your thoughts are and what your feelings are for the playoffs and how you see the first round going.
Sounds good. I would start with the Eastern Conference.
Oh, wait, before I do that, Richard, hold on. I'm being a real idiot and not a good host. Richard, let me introduce you to my new co-host, Justin Eagle Eye Scott. Justin, I've known Richard for about 6 years now. When I had my website, he would do writing for me and he would join me. If I remember correct, he is a big Detroit Red Wings fan.
You are correct.
Here we go. Okay, bud, go ahead.
I'm going to start with the Eastern Conference and go to Buffalo, Boston. I think Buffalo and Boston is going to be a tough, grueling series. They both play the same way. I think Buffalo has more forward depth. I think they are hungry for a playoff win. I have Buffalo in 6.
That's not a bad pick, and we'll talk about that one. For me, the one thing that concerns me with Buffalo in that series is the fact of how many guys they've got on that team that actually have played in the playoffs before. They have almost zero playoff experience on that team.
And I agree that is an area to be concerned about. Also, with the fact that Swayman's a better goalie than Lukanen or Levi. But I just think the amount of forward and defense that Buffalo has, I think it'll move past it.
We will see. Okay, continue on, bud.
I'll go over to Tampa, Montreal. This series, I think, is going to be the most exciting series of them all, as it's the one I had the most trouble picking between. Tampa Bay has the experience of being in the playoffs. They have the best goalie this year in net and Vasilevsky. They strive through injuries to get to the point where they are. Montreal, on the other hand, has the momentum as they're on a hot streak for past 15 games. The young guys are stepping up. I think Montreal takes it in 7, but it could really go either way.
All right, Justin, any thoughts on that one, bud?
Yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be the best matchup in the East, the eastern side of the bracket. Like I said, I'm kind of just honing in and listening to Richard's takes. I like to hear it. I'm not going to get into mine. I'll get into mine, when we
I know, but I just when he gives his, I just want us to give an opinion of what he does instead of him just talking. So that's all. Right? Okay, Richard, continue on.
I think Carolina and Ottawa. I think Ottawa is striving for upset. I have Ottawa taking out Carolina in 7. I think Ottawa is built like Florida, and if you remember correctly, Carolina struggled.
Yeah, I'm not. I see this, and I also to me the X factor in this series is Brady Tkachuk, right? Because I don't think this is his first time in the playoffs. It might be, but it's his brother's got 2 cups, and they are very competitive. He's going to be the X factor in this series. Did I lose you, Richard? We may have lost Richard. Richard! Oh, Richard! Give him a moment, see if he pops back. If not, if you are checking us out and going on the ESPN or the NHL.com bracket challenge, I'm going to go to the homepage. That is the homepage for it. You got to sign up. Brackets, you can do them through 7 Eastern on Monday. So you get Saturday and Sunday almost all the first round games. I think there's one first round game that you won't get to see before you can make the picks, right? And we are going to try. I'm going to try and give a prize away to whoever wins the group. I just don't know what it's going to be. We'll figure something out, right? We'll figure something out. Hopefully Richard will pop back in. So go to the bracket challenge, go to leagues, and search BlueNote. BlueNote, and look for the BlueNote fan report. Do not do the BlueNote bracket challenge. That is not me. BlueNote fan report. Click on that. And then when you pick your bracket, when you do your bracket, you assign a bracket, and then you'll put your bracket in there. I am saying that you are allowed to put up to, what did I say in the post? I think three or four brackets. So you can put multiple brackets. Me and Justin, one bracket each. Everybody else can do other brackets. Now, if me and Justin do a bracket 2, 3, or 4, those brackets will not count. The bracket that you want to beat is Guy and Justin's bracket 1s. Does that make sense, Just?
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to do. It gets a little touchy. There is different outcomes that I can see for different brackets, but yeah, I'm going to try to do this as serious as I can and give my personal opinion on what I think I could see happening.
Well, let's go ahead, and I'm going to start my bracket. Call it Hawaii Blues Fan 1. And I'm going to create a new bracket. Here we go. Okay. So first matchup that they're going to make me do, actually, there's Wayne. Okay. We lost Richard, unfortunately. Hopefully I can get him to do the picks. Yeah, he says he's cutting in and out. Sorry, bud. Do your picks or send him, put him in a group. We'd love it. All right, Nick, how you doing, bud?
What's up?
We are going to do live picks. I know you've already done yours. So just as we go through the bracket, we're going to go through it the way that NHL.com makes me do it. And we'll talk about each series. I'll start with the first one, and then we'll just rotate through as we hit the series. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay, first series is that they're making me do is the Colorado Avalanche. First, the LA Kings, C1 versus Wild Card. Wouldn't it be? We have Wild Card 2. Okay. Right? Oops, that's not not what I wanted. Well, who do I think is going to be? Who do I think it's going to be? Either the Kings. That's how you. This is how you do the bracket. I think it's going to be the Avalanche. I think the Kings are. I know how Justin's thoughts on this, and I don't want to be. But I'll talk it through on here if you like. Well, you know what, Richard? Let's just stand by, and yeah, you can go ahead and put it in the chat, and we'll kind of hit it as we go along. I think that the Avalanche are the strongest team in the bracket overall. I think they're one of the best teams in NHL in a long time, and I do think that they're a team that has the potential of beating out the President's Trophy curse. But I think LA can give them a matchup. LA has shown that last 3 years against the Oilers, they've got some strength. They got people who know the playoffs. I was originally thinking 5. I think I'm going to go Avs in 6. Windy?
I have the Avs in 4. LA's too weak of a team, in my opinion. The way they got into the playoffs is with the loser point, which that doesn't exist anymore, and the fact that they have a losing record in the playoffs. They're going to get steamrolled by this Avalanche team.
That's fair enough. I mean, and Justin?
I have the Avs in 5. The only reason I give LA a game is because I like Anze Kopitar just enough. That's the only reason I give them a game.
Yeah. Richard says I have Colorado taking out Kings in 5. I think the Kings are too slow for the Avs. Better team wins, simple. And that's not a bad thought process. I think that they can give them. I think they'll give them 2 games. I could be wrong, but who knows? Okay, the next series. This is the series I'm excited about, especially on the West, is the Dallas Stars C2 against the Minnesota Wild C3. And I've gone back and forth in my head. I finally flipped a coin, and I'm going Dallas in 7 because I think these teams are a lot more evenly matched than they do. I think it's going to come down to goaltending, and I think when you really, really, really need to win a game, Ottinger is the goaltender that can do it for you. Justin?
I have Dallas in 7.
Oops, I picked the wrong one.
Dallas in 7 for me. I'll be honest. Minnesota is going to give them some fight. I do think that. And to me, I wouldn't even be honest if it shocks me somehow and Dallas ends up pulling this out in 6. It wouldn't even surprise me. But I could definitely see the series going 7. I think that this will be your best matchup alongside the Tampa Bay Lightning and Montreal series in the first round.
Yeah, I'm with you. Wendy, what do you got for me, bud?
This is set up to be the most entertaining series of the first round. I have Minnesota in 7. I like the roster, how they are constructed as a roster. They play with some grit, get those greasy goals, which are a key in the playoffs. Dallas doesn't get really high danger, greasy type goals. Minnesota does. And when we have seen it in the past, Jake Ottinger does give up greasy goals in the playoffs.
Yeah, he can. Who did you say in 7? Did you say Dallas?
Minnesota in 7.
Oh, Minnesota in 7. Wow. Interesting pick. Richard says, I think this is a tough series to decide, but I'm taking Stars in 7. Going to be very close, but I think Dallas gets it done. I think Dallas, he said it twice. Sister JJ Abs in 5. Okay, next series. I'm going to let Justin start this one. This is Pacific 1, the Vegas Golden Knights against Wild Card 1, the Utah Mammoths. This is officially the Utah Mammoths' first ever playoff appearance. However, there are players on that team that have playoff experience with that team, just with a different name. At least I think so. I could be wrong.
Yeah, they do.
They do. They do. You have Sergachev over there. He has experience with Tampa. You have guys over there that have playoff experience. My thing is out of the West, this is the one matchup to where you could actually see a upset. You could see an upset from Utah. I may anger some fans here. I think Utah is going to be exciting, but seeing as it's their first playoffs, I do think that they have a better chance of someone that we may talk about later here. I hate to do it because I don't care for the team. I'm going to go with Vegas, and I'm going to go with Vegas in 6.
Okay. Richard posts in here. He says, I think if Cassidy was still the coach for Vegas, I would have Utah winning. But Torts is having this team rolling, and Utah isn't at the moment. Vegas in 6, experience takes over. It's a good analysis there, bud. Wendy, what do you got, boss?
I get this series is again what Justin said could be an upset series, and I do have the upset. I have Utah in 6, mainly because goaltending advantage Utah over Vegas. Vegas's goaltending, you don't know what you're going to get. Aiden Hill isn't the greatest goalie. Carter Hart is pretty bad. I get Vegas is rolling since the coaching change, but Utah plays as a unit, and their goaltending should help pull them out in 6.
I look at this series, and I got to be honest, of every single series where I've gone, just don't know, it's been this one. This is the series where I look at it, and my head wants to go with Vegas. My heart wants to go with Utah. My head tells my heart it's an idiot. My heart tells my head to, stop thinking with the stop thinking because it's hurting it. All kind. I really, the one thing that I think is going to flip me on this to where I'll pick, it's got to be playoff experience. There are still guys on Vegas that are cup guys, right? You got a couple of cup guys, and I think that, especially in the first round, can get you a win, at least one win. So I think Vegas. I'm going to go Vegas in 7. All right, everybody good right now? Okay, the last one in the West, and I'm going to start with Wendy on this, is the Pacific 2 against the Pacific 3. The Edmonton Oilers, who have been in the finals the last 2 years, and the Anaheim Ducks, who haven't sniffed the playoffs in half a century or half a decade, I think. Is that
They
fair?
haven't made it to the playoffs since 2017.
Yeah, almost 6 years. So a little bit longer than that. So yeah, almost a decade. So go ahead, Wendy, you take it.
This is a series I would hope for Coach Q's sake to go on, but unfortunately, I think his former boss and Stan Bonehead is going to move on. So I have Edmonton winning in 6 because of the experience that Edmonton has of going to the Cup final the last 2 years in a row. Anaheim just getting their first sniff in the playoffs. They are coming in cold. They have not played good hockey the last couple of weeks. I will take Edmonton over Anaheim in this series.
And how many? Oh, you said 6, right?
It's 6.
Justin.
Like I said, I would love for Anaheim to beat Edmonton because I don't care for Edmonton at all, and it would just be awesome to see the crash out from Edmonton fans. But it's not going to happen. Edmonton's going to take this series. Anaheim has not played good hockey in the recent stretch. Down the stretch, they've been one of the worst teams actually in the league down the stretch here. So I can't root against McDavid and Draisaitl if he's healthy. I don't know if he's actually back yet. But I can't root against Edmonton. So I put Edmonton in 5.
Richard says Edmonton has played well since Draisaitl went down due to injury. Ingram has been playing well. Anaheim has struggled lately. I see this series going to be a McDavid masterclass. I bet we see him score one of the highest point series of his career. Oilers in 5. I'm simply doing this. I'm going. Is it a sweep or not? Right. So now that I picked the Oil, I got to figure out the game. So I said Avs in 6. I said Dallas in 7. I said Vegas in 6, right? Justin, help me out here.
It was either 6 or 7. I mean, 6. It's your bracket, pal.
Oh, I know, but I'm trying to remember what I said. And this one, I'm like, is it a sweep or not? I just, it's so hard to get a sweep. And if I'm not picking Colorado to sweep the Kings, I can't pick Edmonton to sweep the Ducks.
Anaheim. I think Anaheim is a good for at least one win in Anaheim. Yeah. I think they'll give them at least one win on home ice.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. So this is my western side of the bracket. You can see there. I have Colorado in 6, Dallas in 7, Vegas in 6, and Oilers in 5. Any final word on this side of the western bracket before we move to the east? Anybody?
I pretty much have the same bracket as you. The only difference is I have Colorado winning in 5 instead of 6.
Wendy, yours is kind of close, right? Except you got Minnesota.
Yeah, he's got Minnesota.
I have Minnesota beating Dallas in 7, Colorado in 4, Utah in 6, and Edmonton in 6.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go on to the other side of it. All right. I'm showing you as I'm doing this. I'm showing you how to do this on it so you can do it for our bracket. Right. First round, we have Buffalo against the Bruins. I know that Richard talked about this a little bit, so I'll start with Wendy on this one.
This one's long awaited for Buffalo to be back in the playoffs. It's been 15 years since they've played playoff hockey. Very little experience on this roster that of players going to the playoffs. I believe just Logan Stanley and Alex Tuck are two names on that team that has playoff experience. Boston has good playoff experience. Goaltending, they have Jeremy Swayman, but Buffalo does have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, the man who has the best name in hockey. So I have Buffalo actually in 5. They matched up well against Boston this year, and I really think Buffalo can actually take on Boston and beat them in 5.
Oh, by the way, what I didn't show you, if you click on this right here, the analysis, it breaks down the series, or it breaks down the season points, goals per game, goals against. It kind of breaks things down for you.
It's pretty even for Boston and Buffalo, if I remembered correctly when I did this.
Say again?
It's pretty even for Boston and Buffalo.
Yeah. I'll go before Justin. Because I'm on the Buffalo bandwagon. I really am. You know, the song's not true. You know, we're never ever getting in the playoffs. They got in the playoffs. And I do think that that their lack of playoff experience is going to hurt them in at least 1, if not 2 games. So I'm going to say 6. I could say 5, but I'm going to say 6. All right. Justin, what's your thought process?
So I talked about how this would be controversial. And this is where we get to the controversial part. Buffalo fans are not going to like it. I want Buffalo to do well. They haven't been in it for a very long time. It's a huge moment for them. And realistically, in all aspects, they should win this series. They should. But I'm going to go with the upset, and I'm going to say the Boston Bruins beat the Buffalo Sabres in the playoffs, and I'm going to say that they do it. I'm still undecided on whether I want to say 6 or 7. I think Boston. I look at how Boston's played. You had a lot of guys to step up this year for them. And the biggest name of them all, who has been very, very good for them, is Jeremy Swayman. He's been absolutely insane to watch. And although Buffalo is going to have some passion coming into the playoffs for the first time in so long, I think it will drive them. But I think the playoffs experience does hurt them. You have guys like Pasternak, McAvoy, Zaka, who stepped up big time for Boston. I think Swayman can steal this series. So I'm going to go with Boston. I'm going to be the outlier and say Boston wins. I just don't know if it's going to be in 6 or 7.
Okay, well, when you got to make a pick for that sooner or later. So we'll go to the next series. The next series is Tampa Bay versus Montreal. And we had Richard say a little bit earlier, while he thinks that this is the closest series and probably going to be the most entertaining series. I think that Justin agrees with that. So I'm going to start with Justin.
This matchup, yeah, I think this matchup's going to be the best one in the East. It's going to be one of the better ones in the first round. This is a could go either way series. Montreal is playing inspired hockey right now. They have some very good young talent over there. But I have to ride who I've rode for the season prediction show that we did. Tampa's my team to beat in the East. And I think this is going to go 7, and I think Tampa's going to pull it out. And it's a hard matchup because I could see Montreal winning just as much as Tampa. So I will say, actually, no, I won't give that away because I don't want to give that away yet. So I'm going to just say Tampa in 7.
Right. Yeah. So here's the matchup. Season points, they were even. Goals per game, even. Goals against per game, Tampa was slightly better at about a third of a goal per game better. Power play, Montreal was better. And penalty kill, Tampa was better. Kucherov had 130 points, and Nick Suzuki broke the 100-point level with 101. And I used to hate Montreal for some reason, but I don't know. I got to say, I'm La Habitants, and I think it's La Habitants in 7. I really do. Right? That brings us to our next series. And we'll let Wendy start on this one. This is the Hurricanes versus the Ottawa Senators. Go ahead, Wendy, give it a start.
I should mention my pick for the Tampa Montreal series. I had Tampa
Did I
in
not ask
6
you?
there.
I thought I
What?
asked you. I'm sorry. I thought
Nope.
I asked you. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I had Tampa in 6 because I think Vasilevsky's going to start turning things around. He's had a rebound season. Kucherov, probably the Hart Trophy winner this year. I love Montreal. I had them as my preseason pick to go to the Cup final, but I think Tampa Bay beats them by their experience alone. But now, if we're going into Carolina and Ottawa, this one, I am saying we're on fraud watch. I think the Ottawa Senators in 6 over Carolina. I think Carolina's a bunch of frauds. Why? You're facing up against a team who it got red hot at the right time in this season to get into the playoffs. And last year when they made the playoffs, Ottawa gave Toronto hell. And I think the Ottawa Senators will move on over the Carolina Hurricanes in 6 games.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Richard says this series had me going either way. I think Ottawa's built like Florida. They have forward and defensive depth, a hot and cold goalie. This is not a normal 8 seed. Carolina lacks the second line center and couldn't contain Florida toughness. Ottawa had that as well. Ottawa in 7. And we'll go with Justin.
Actually, you go first.
Okay. Good. This one I went up and this is the Brady Tkachuk series for me. And I think he's the X factor. I think that is this his first or second time in the playoffs? Maybe second?
Second, because Ottawa made the playoffs last
Last
year.
year. I think he's hungry, especially with his brother not making the playoffs and they're competitive. And that's going to be enough for a game or two to me to just with that hunger. And they might be a better. I'm with the upset, and I'm with the upset in 7.
Okay. So for me, my heart and soul wants the Ottawa Senators to win this because I do like their team a little better. And I think the upset is definitely possible, and it's definitely a reasonable thought in everybody's head. And I could definitely see it. At the end of this, I would not be surprised if that's the case. But I'm sorry, I can't. Although I do agree that the Carolina Hurricanes are frauds and they do stink it up and suck it up in the end and blow it because they just don't seem to do anything at the deadline. It is so hard for me to take out a team like Carolina in the first round when they play a Brind'Amour system. Brind'Amour is such a good coach. Carolina's been such a competitive team, and in the first 2 rounds, they're always a team that just seems to make it to the West or to the East final. So I want to say Ottawa, but I'm going to be outlier and say that Carolina wins it in 7. I'm going to say that the Ottawa Senators get even closer. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it out, but I think that Carolina takes it in 7.
That's actually. I mean, again, it's good. Good analysis, and I like it. Now we're going to go to the Battle of Pennsylvania, and I'm going to start this one with Richard. So I'm going to wait for Richard to put his comments in, and when he puts them in, I'll read them, and then we'll go. This is it. I think this has only happened like 2 other times in modern history. It may have happened earlier after the break or after the first expansion, because these are 2 of the original 6, the second 6. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Philadelphia was the first of the original 6 to win a cup. And if my memory serves me correct, Penguins were the second. It's going to be a good series. Richard says, Penguins died down the stretch while Flyers got hot. Flyers had playoff style forward in Kornecki, Courtier, and the rookie Matrone. Flyers D can shut down the Pens, and their goalie is better this season. Flyers in 6. Okay. Windy.
This is honestly going to be the worst series of the playoffs. Both teams not that great. I get it. Philadelphia got red hot down the stretch to get into the playoffs. And Pittsburgh, they kind of cooled off. I'm giving the experience factor in this one with the fact that you have Crosby, Letang, and Malkin back in the playoffs. I think they're hungry. I have Pittsburgh in 7, but this series is going to be one of those game series that goes 7, which may be entertaining to get the storylines out of, but you aren't going to see really good hockey out of it.
Kind of boring. You feel like it's going to be boring hockey.
No, not boring hockey, just high scoring, not really good defensive or goaltending hockey. And playoff hockey, I like more structure and harder nose play. I think with this series, you're going to see like hockey where you're going to see a blowout in a game. You're going to see like a 6-5 game. You aren't going to see good defensive hockey.
I can understand that. Justin, what you got, boss?
I'm with Winnie on this one. I'm going with experience. Crosby, Malkin, they're getting older. They're going to be calling it quits soon. They want one more. They want one more crack at a deep run. The Flyers, yes, they got hot at the right time, but I'm sorry. The Flyers won a lot of games in overtime. They won a lot of games and a shootout down the stretch. I'm sorry. Trevor Zegras is one of the best shootout guys in the league, but there's no shootouts in the playoffs. So I think Sidney Crosby, Malkin, Letang, I think those guys are going to be hungry. This is my least like that I'm excited about, if that makes sense. I think it's going to be fine, but I'm just not overly excited about the series. I think it could really go either way, but I'm gonna give it to Pittsburgh, and I'm gonna say Pittsburgh probably gets it done in 6.
Yeah, see, I was thinking when I thought about this one, I'm going, man, if I pick Pittsburgh, everybody's gonna just, I'm gonna look like the fool and the odd man out. And you're right. It's the experience. How can you count out? I mean, how many times has Crosby been in the playoffs and lost in the first round? Maybe once.
There's quite a bit of times. He hasn't made it out of the first round since they won the cup in 2017.
But they've missed the playoffs twice in that period.
They've missed the playoffs in the last 2 years, but they weren't able to make it out of the first round since 2017. And Crosby's couldn't make it out of the first round after 2009 for 3 years after about 3 years for that.
Yeah. I just think that the experience is going to come through here. And not only that, what I think you're going to see, this is going to be like the Battle of Alberta, almost the Battle of Pennsylvania. When you talked about, you want them high scoring games. I don't know if it's going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be middle scoring, like 4-3 game. I don't consider 4-3 a high scoring game, right? I think 4-3, 4 goals is because the average goals per game for most teams is right around 3. So 4-3 is not bad to me, right? And that's what I think you're going to get. But I also think that you're going to get more emotion in this series than you will any other series. And that's why I'm sticking with Pittsburgh on this. And I do think this one is 7. Now, I did make sure I said this right. I said Buffalo in 6. I said Montreal in 7. I said Ottawa in, can't remember, did I say 6 or 7?
7, I think. I think you said 7 because Wendy said 7.
Yeah.
I think you both were the same.
I had Ottawa in 6, actually.
Oh, I said Ottawa in 6?
I did.
You did.
I think, had them in 7.
7. And I'm going to go Pittsburgh in 6 because I don't see A lot of series go to 7. I mean, you get a lot series that you have 4 outcomes, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, or 7. And believe it or not, the majority of series go 6 games. Most series go 6 games. But we did see some 7 gamers last year, and I'm sticking with that. So that's our first round. Now we got to go to our second round. We're going to the semifinals, and we'll kick over to the Colorado Avalanche. Well, whoever your second is. For me, it is the Avalanche versus the Stars. I think, Wendy, you had the Avalanche versus Minnesota.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with you first with that. What do you have there?
I personally am having the upset. Minnesota, I think, can beat Colorado in a series if they match up. I had Colorado winning in 4 in the first round, and you're going to have Minnesota coming out of a first round and a slugfest versus Dallas. I like Minnesota's grit and greasiness. I think they can beat Colorado, and I have them probably in 6.
The one thing with Minnesota there, if Minnesota's in the second round, I wonder how much Tarasenko is going to help that team out with his 2 cups, because he's done it in 2 totally different roles. So he knows how to win a cup in different ways. All right. I'm going to read Richards, and then we'll go to you, Justin. I have Dallas. They beat Colorado last year, and I think the same thing here. Dallas goalie is more dependable than Blackwood or Wedgwood, and I think the pressure gets to Colorado's head again. Dallas in 6 off another hat trick by Rantanen. And we'll go with Justin. Good analysis, Richard.
Yeah, I have Dallas. I have Dallas and Colorado in my second round. For me, Dallas is, I think, the one who's going to take it in the end. I think I like Colorado. Colorado's obviously the favorite to most people, but I feel like when most people put their eggs in one basket and everybody's cheering for the same or rooting for the same team and thinking that the same team is going to be in the finals, I just think it ends up like I said, giving you too much pressure, or like Richard said, giving you too much pressure in the end. And I think Colorado loses again to Dallas. So Dallas, and I'm going to say that series probably goes 7 again, 6 or 7.
For NHL's bracket, they don't have you. They only have you.
I know, but I'm just telling you that's what I think that series will go.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Just making sure that you knew for the bracket pick, it didn't do that. I hate freaking doing this, but I got the Avalanche because the fact that the Avalanche have had so much problems with Colorado in the past, it just feels like, when you have a team that has a team that they can't get over the hump with, the emotion takes you over the hump sometimes. And I think with Colorado, as well as they played, I really think that they can do it. And I do think that this is a 6 or a 7 game series. Wendy? No, I'd already asked you on this, right? You had Minnesota. We got everybody. Okay, Richard, I'm going to go with you. So give us what your second round is. I think you did have Vegas and the Oilers. Did anybody have who had the Mammoths? You did. Okay,
Yep.
You know what, Wendy? While we're waiting for Richard, you go with the Mammoths.
Okay, I get it. Since Arizona moved to Utah, Utah never hasn't beaten Edmonton at all. I think this is where it flips. Utah beats Edmonton in the playoffs with my prediction here. I just, again, put it to who's in net, and I think Edmonton's going to be tired after going on 2 long playoff runs, and a team like Utah, it's going to be energized for their first playoff run, and I think the Mammoth move on to the conference final.
Wow, Wendy. I mean, that's you're going out on a limb there, bud. And I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it like this. I like it like that. I like it when Wendy goes out on a limb. Richard says Edmonton in 6. Same thing as Dallas. Edmonton beat them last year severely. Vegas goalies are shaky. I think Edmonton's rolling through. Oilers in 6. You with us, Just? Sorry, guys. Oh, what happened? Justin, I think you changed things, bud. Yeah, you didn't unmute yourself, bud. There you go.
I think I took myself out of the studio, and I think you brought me back in.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you took yourself out.
So, I had Edmonton and Edmonton to Vegas, and I have Edmonton beating Vegas.
Okay. You want me to take you out for a bit?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine now.
Okay.
But that's if I take myself out, please don't put me back in. Because there's a reason I put myself out.
I thought, well, the screen changed, so I thought maybe you accidentally hit something. Right? You took it out of this format, so that's why I thought maybe you hit something. I apologize. For me, this one, if you get to this, it's going to be the most entertaining series. It's got the potential to be a heavyweight knockdown, drag out fight, and it comes down to who's hungrier. And for me, it's the Oilers. I just think the Oilers. That whole division was weak this year. All four of the teams that made the playoffs at some point led the division. All of them.
Pillow fight division. What McDavid
Right?
said.
Yeah, the old smite. So they just it's up for grabs. I think Edmonton's going to do it. I think they've got the best shot at doing it, and it's going to lead to another heavyweight matchup in the conference finals. Now let's go to the East. I'll start with Wendy on this one. We have Buffalo against Montreal.
So in this series, I have Buffalo versus Tampa.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
And I really want Buffalo to move on. The way these two teams matched up this season, it was turning into bloodbaths in their last 2 matchups.
Mm-hmm.
I have Tampa beating Buffalo, unfortunately, and going to the conference final. I want Buffalo to go there, but the experience will overcome the lack of playoff experience the Buffalo Sabres are going to have.
Yeah, Richard says, I think Buffalo dies down here. I think they won't handle the Habs speed. I think they will start taking dumb penalties, Canadians in 6. I could see that too. Now, Justin, if I remember right, you have Boston and Tampa Bay in this series, right?
I have Boston and Tampa Bay. I was the one outlier. Now, I want to preface this because I'm doing this bracket to where who I think I could see winning. Honestly, every one of these series, I can pretty much give you a who I think is going to win and who I want to win, because my heart tells me a lot of different things. I want the Ottawa Senators to win. I want the Buffalo Sabres to win. I want a lot of things, but I'm going with what I think, and I think that the pressure of Buffalo finally getting in the playoffs, they've been through growing pains, missing the playoffs for 14 years, 15 years. That's tough. So that's growing pains right there. But I think that they still need to experience playoff growth and playoff loss. So that's why I had Buffalo losing in the first round. But getting into the series with Tampa Bay and Boston, I have Tampa Bay beating Boston. I don't see any reason why Boston would beat Tampa Bay. I think Buffalo would have a better chance against Tampa Bay, but I have Boston there, so I don't think Boston wins that series.
So you have Tampa Bay beating Boston.
Yeah, Tampa Bay beat Boston.
Wendy, did I already get to you or no?
Yep. I had Tampa beating Buffalo.
I'm with Richard here. I see. Well, let's say Tampa. Even if Tampa gets in, I think Buffalo slows down here. I think that the lack of playoff experience hurts them here. I think that the hunger isn't there as much as it is. You want to talk about a hungry ass team? I think Montreal is as hungry as. Here's a team. A Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup since 1992, the 75th anniversary season. 28 years, minus the 1 year where they didn't play. They have not won the Cup. And I think that this is a team that could be hungry enough to do it. I'm going Montreal in 6. Now, Justin, you had Carolina here. Did anybody else have Carolina?
I think I was the only one who had Carolina.
Yeah, so
everybody else had the Senators.
You had Carolina and Pittsburgh, right?
Carolina and Pittsburgh and
say again.
Yes, Carolina and Pittsburgh. I had obviously I gave the reason on why I had Pittsburgh beating the Flyers. That was pretty self-explanatory. We all kind of agreed with that. I'm sorry. Again, I know that the Carolina Hurricanes are pretenders. I do agree with Wendy on that 100%. I think everybody kind of feels that way about Carolina. If they make it to the second round, their hardest matchup is going to be against Ottawa. I don't see either Pittsburgh or the Flyers beating Carolina if Carolina gets there. So I have Carolina advancing in the East final or to the East final to play Tampa.
Haven't seen Richard's comments yet, Nick, so we'll go with you.
So I have Ottawa, Pittsburgh in the series, and with it, I really like Ottawa's matchup in it. Analytically, I think Ottawa matches up much better than Pittsburgh. Yes, Ottawa was a wild card, but they're a good wild card team. If the playoffs did not set up in a wild card format, I believe Ottawa will be higher than Pittsburgh in the standings, if I'm not mistaken.
Possible. I'd have to look it up. I don't have it.
But
I'll look it up
I'm taking Ottawa to go to the Eastern Conference Final. They get their fan base will finally get their revenge on Pittsburgh from 2017, and they can get the final lap on their former captain Erik Karlsson.
I don't have it up here, Wendy. I thought I did. Oh, actually, I'll try one other thing. They took standings off of the website.
I noticed that.
It's not as easy to get, but I have the media website, so that way I can pull it. So if they did
Ottawa had 99 points, Pittsburgh had 98 points.
If they did a 1v8, right? The Hurricanes would be the number 1 seed, and the number 2 seed would be the number 2 seed would be the Hurricanes. Or no, Sabres at 109. Right? Sabres would be the number 2 seed. The number 3 seed would be the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, we got to remember, when they do 1v8, the way that it was done, winning your division gave you either seed 1 or 2, no matter how many points you had. So you could have number 2 and have less points than number 3, 4, and 5. That was possible. But in this case, if they went 1 through 8, on the East, it would have been this. Carolina Hurricanes won. They would have faced the Flyers at 8. The Sabres would have faced the Penguins at 7. And then Tampa would have faced the Senators at 6. And then I think the Canadians, I might have this wrong, but I think the Canadians would have faced the Senators. The Penguins would have gotten the Lightning. That's how it would have been 1v8, right? So you said auto advancing?
Yeah, I have Ottawa going to the conference final.
This is a tough one for me because when I look at this, the question here is, and it simply comes down to this: do I think a Canadian team is good enough to win the cup? And my answer is no. However, I have a chance of putting 3 Canadian teams in the conference finals. And I just don't think that's going to happen. Boy, Canada would go nuts. I got to put Pittsburgh here and go with my heart instead of my head on this one. And Richard says I have Ottawa exposing Flyers' inexperience here. Ottawa will physically dominate. Flyers goalie will struggle, sends in 5. And again, great analysis, and it's a good thought process. Now we come down to the conference finals. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to let you say who's going to win each conference final. I'm not going to go one by one. You do your conference final. You do who you think's going to be in the Stanley Cup finals. I'm going to start with Wendy. Then I'll go to Richard because Richard's got to type it out. Then we'll go to Justin, and then we'll go to me. How does that sound? Is that good, guys? Thumbs up. Everybody cool with that? Okay. So Wendy, we'll go with you.
Okay, I'm going to start out with the Eastern Conference Final. As much as I do not want to see the Stanley Cup Final in the state of Florida again, I unfortunately have the Tampa Bay Lightning going back to the Stanley Cup Final over the Ottawa Senators from the Eastern Conference. On the West, I have the state of hockey, the Minnesota Wild, beating Utah to go to the Stanley Cup Final.
Wow. Wendy, you went. You talk about going out on a limb. I don't even know how to. Wow. Richard has Dallas versus Montreal. We all 4 have completely different Stanley Cup finals. All 4 of us. I think that is great. Richard has Dallas and Montreal. Okay, Justin, on you.
I have for my East final, I have Carolina and Tampa Bay. I have Tampa Bay finally taking out the Carolina Hurricanes because I think that luck's going to run out. Tampa's just a better team, flat out. They have more depth. They have the better goaltending, I think. So once again, Carolina loses in the conference final. And then I have Dallas and Edmonton. Now, we saw this series last year, and Edmonton walked through because of the, I think, the easiness of their, easiness side of their bracket. And I do think that is the case this time, but I think Dallas gets over the hump. So I have Dallas and Tampa as my Stanley Cup final.
Richard says Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I apologize. I didn't mean to walk over you. I think Dallas gets revenge on Edmonton for last year. I think the Oilers' weakness gets exposed. I think Ottawa gets frustrated with speed. Olmec starts playing bad. Montreal in 6. I have looked at this and gone backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. I see these 4 teams, and I honestly don't think all 4 of them can win the Stanley Cup. And to sit there and say that they're in the Cup finals and then go, wait a minute, you don't think they are in the conference final? You don't think they can? No, I don't. I think that, sometimes you play the teams in front of you. What is this, bud?
No, you could just I put my bracket fully on there if you wanted to show it later.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and show this real quick. This is Wendy's bracket. Oh, well, I should have waited.
Yeah, that's why I said if you wanted to show it after.
Yeah. I screwed that up, didn't I? Way to go, guy. Way to go.
You now know who I have winning.
No, so we'll get there. God, I hate to do this. I have Avalanche, and Montreal. Right? And now we get to who our winner is. Wendy, I'm starting with you since you already said it. I'll post yours, talk about it, and then I'll go to Richard, and then I'll go to Justin, and then me.
Well, as you can see, I have the Minnesota Wild beating the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is a series I think will be very close. Tampa having the experience of going to the Stanley Cup for 3 year in a row part and then missing the last 3 years themselves. I like Minnesota over Tampa. The Stanley Cup is going to be won by a Central Division team, and that Central Division team I have winning it is the Minnesota Wild and the Foligno brothers getting the cup.
That's I like it. I like it. I do. I like when a first time team wins the cup. I really do. And there's only 3 of them. There's 3 of them in this playoff. 4 of them. And according to you, one of them's going to get that chance. Well, 5 of them. There's 5, right? Buffalo, Ottawa, Minnesota, and Utah. Those are the only ones that haven't won a cup. Am I right? Yes.
Right.
Oh, no, Anaheim. Oh, no,
Anaheim has a cup.
Anaheim has a cup. Yep, never mind. Okay. Not bad. Okay, Richard, where you got? Richard says, and let me put this back up to this. There we go. Put mine back up. There we go. Richard says, I think Montreal Miracle run died here. Dallas dealt with a fast team throughout the playoffs run, and they finished the Habs in 6. I like that too. For me, I'm sitting here going, how do you pick either one of these teams, you dumbass? But I think Colorado's the stronger. I think that they're gonna break the. I gotta go with Scary. When I bitched all season, I told him he was wrong, but I'm going with them being right. And then it asked for a total number of goals. I look at the average. I think the average total for goals is somewhere around 6.5 per game for the NHL this year, something around that. So it's how many games you think it's going to go. I think it'll go 6. So I'm going to go 38 goals. 38. I have read and agreed to the rules. And with this, I submit my bracket. And there it is. I'm now in. That's my bracket in the BlueNote fan report.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
You didn't ask me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down.
You just completely forgot Justin. Nice job, guy.
Sorry. I thought Justin. I'm sorry, Justin. Forgive me. Go ahead, bud.
I said I have Dallas and Tampa. I know to the eye it probably is not overly exciting for a lot of people. It seems probably pretty tried and true. But I'm going to go with the Corey Perry curse continues, and I'm going to say Dallas finally gets over the hump and finally gets their Stanley Cup that they've been chasing for a while. And I think that this goes 6. And I'm going to say there's probably about, let's say maybe 37 goals maybe total.
All right. Richard Campbell says, thanks, guys. Sorry my connection was so bad. Have fun doing this with you guys. Hey, we got to bring you on more often, Richard. Hopefully we can get you out here more, especially during the off season. You're a good off season guy. You're a fun guy to talk about. You understand a lot about the off season. Nice meeting you, Justin. Have a good night, guys. You've met Richard before, if I remember right. Back when I had my website back in the day.
I have to really think. It's been a while, if so.
Yeah, but no, it was a fun show, and I hope everybody gets in the league. I'm going to see if I can pull my league up here now. My bracket submitted. Go to my leagues. BlueNote fan report. And we have, I think it's 9 people in our league. I can't completely tell. Yeah, we have 8 in our league. Hopefully more. I'd like to get 20. I want 20. Wendy, please put one of your brackets in there if you don't mind. Justin, I know Justin's bracket's going to be in there. That'll be 9. Maybe we get 10. Maybe we get a little more. And hopefully we can come up with a prize for everybody. Before we go, any last thoughts? Nick?
Well, it's a true silly season. The playoffs are always a toss-up and fun to go. But I'm now starting my focus on what the Hawks are going to be doing this offseason.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of off-season talk for me and Justin. We're working on some shows. We'll talk about that here in a second. Wendy, thank you for joining us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. It was fun having you. You have a good night. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, you, Wendy.
All right, thank you.
I know. Okay, Justin, you and me to finish it out. I wanted to talk about what we kind of have planned going forward. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I know we just did our bracket. I'm not going to get into anything crazy in depth. I just kind of, because I talked about saying that like what I think's going to happen compared to what I want to happen. But for what I want to happen, a quick rundown. If I had if I was able to say, okay, I want this, I want that, my choices for this, like for who I would want to win, would be, I hate to do it. I want the Avs to win because I just don't think LA's a strong contender. Dallas for me, I know a lot of people are high on Minnesota. It would be cool to see them. Utah beating Vegas, I would want. Anaheim beating Edmonton. I would actually prefer the Flyers because I think the Flyers would be cool. The Senators, I would want. Montreal, I would want. And Buffalo, I want. So that's what I would want, but that's not what my heart, that's not what my brain tells me.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to give that rundown.
Yeah, no, and when it comes down to it, when it absolutely comes down to it, it's extremely hard to get any of it, right? Sorry, I'm taking care of something.
No, you're good. I loved Richard's insight on what he talked about. I love the ballsiness of Wendy going with a Utah Mammoth and Minnesota Wild West final. It sounds good in theory. It's different. It's unique. That is one thing that I can tell you for sure is not going to happen. There's too many good teams in the West, Dallas and Colorado there. I just, especially for me, I know how people are so high on Minnesota, and I know they added and did that crazy thing for Quinn Hughes. My issue, though, is this team has made the playoffs 9 of the last 10 times and has been a first-round exit in every single series besides one, and everybody's shooting them to the moon. You generally don't go from losing in the first round every year to the Stanley Cup. I'm sorry.
I can think of one team. I can think of one team that got close. Well, semi-close. Right? Do you know who I'm thinking of? The 2016 St. Louis Blues. They got ousted in the first round a bunch of times, and then from that point they ended up going to the Western Conference Finals against the Sharks and ended up losing in 6.
Well, and I know that's what I'm saying. They got close, but it's a rare occurrence. I do know what you're saying. The Blues were losing in the first round. Then they made a step. Obviously, they didn't get there until 2019. They made a step in the right direction. I could see that for Minnesota. I could possibly see. I don't think Dallas is a shoo-in lock to beat Minnesota. Minnesota could take that series. But if that's the case, I still don't know if I can take them over the Avs because I think the Avs are going to be the fresher team. And I think that experience and stuff is going to play a factor. And the fact that Minnesota has literally not been out of the first round in almost every series besides one. I don't know. I don't know how people – I love the optimism, but I just don't know how people shoot them to the moon.
Here's what I'm going to do for the fun of it. I'm going to do 2 more brackets, right? I'm going to do a bracket like you said with my heart. And then I'm going to do a bracket where on my number 1 bracket, which I said at the beginning of the show, that was the only bracket that counts for us, for you and me. I'm going to do a 3rd bracket that is the exact opposite of my first bracket. and just see what happens. I mean, for shits and giggles, right? Shits and grins, or however you want to say it. What we are thinking about, me and Justin are looking at doing this. We are going to each take a series and kind of try and do what we do as a normal show for that series. Maybe try and help each other out, but let each other kind of run the series. Justin, have you picked your series? I think you have, but I wasn't 100% sure.
I know you wanted me to pick my series, and the series that I would pick between the two would be Utah and Vegas, or it would be Dallas and Minnesota. That's why I wanted to kind of pull it up and see what people wanted to see more. I know that we're all Blues fans. I know most of us are Blues fans, but I just wanted to gauge and garner what series people actually wanted me to cover.
Well, if we're going to do game one, I got to have an answer by tomorrow morning. So I can get.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying. I mean, we have how many people we have watching here?
2.
Oh, okay. So we're not really garnering the views right now.
Yeah.
but that's okay. I can put it out. We still got time. I will give you an answer. I'm leaning towards Dallas and Minnesota. I think it's going to be the better series. Right. I think Utah being in it, I think is just going to be cool to watch. So it doesn't matter. We're going to cover series, but we're going to talk about each series. Yeah. So just because we're not covering it here, we're gonna talk about series.
What we're going to be doing. We're not going to do it every day, but there are times we're going to come on after the last game and talk about the day's games. Right. I'm going to try and cover the Buffalo series. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't think I can cover game 1. I got something going on Sunday that I wasn't 100% sure is going to happen. We'll see. And this weekend, there's some things that came up for me, especially with what happened to my teeth. So, but we're going to try and get some series in and get some things in. There are shows where you may see Justin by himself, and there are shows where you may see me by myself. I'm just putting it out there. It doesn't mean anything. It's just the way things are. But once the playoffs are done, we are actually somewhere during the playoffs, we're going to be grading the Blues. We're going to do a show grading the Blues. We're going to do one show that is forwards only, and then we're going to do a show that is defensemen and goaltenders, and we're going to grade every player that played for the Blues, whether they played one game or not. If they played for the Blues this season, we're going to grade them. Right? I mean, some guys might get an incomplete.
Yeah, we might. And on top of that, we're going to be grading them. All
You froze. Oh no!
Am I back? Okay,
yeah, you're back.
Okay. We're going to grade them, and obviously those stats, the forwards, defense, goaltending. But I think what I was talking to Guy about was having somebody come on. So maybe we have Ashley come on and help do forwards. We have Lance come on and help do defense, or whichever way we want to do it. Gives a little bit of a different insight than just me and myself and Guy.
I want to bring.
We can reach out.
Those. I want to bring Kelsey on one of those. A new fan. I want to see how a new fan sees a player. Like, I'm going to let her, like, if we bring her on for, let's say we bring her on for forwards, that's what I kind of like to bring her on for. I'd like to let her go first on every forward, so we hear how a new fan like her sees the player, and how they, in their eyes, what that player did. Right?
Yeah.
What do you? I think that's a good one.
Yeah, like I said, that we could try to reach out and see what she's thinking. Kelsey for forwards, maybe Lance for defense or goaltending.
Well, Lance is the goaltender. So, we're going to do defense and goaltending together. So we could probably bring both Lance and Ashley on if it works for both of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that'll work.
We are going to do a show on the lottery pick when they do the lottery draw. We'll be live for that, and we'll talk about it as it happens. We're going to do the draft, obviously. We will do the finals, every game of the finals. I plan on it. I hope Justin, I didn't tell Justin this ahead of time, but I would like to try and do every game of the finals if I can. And then I have an idea, Justin, that I'm going to talk to you about offline. I don't think I should talk to you about it online. I think it would be better to ask you offline. But I have an idea for something to do after the season on a bi-weekly basis, like we talked about the other day. Sound good?
Okay.
Well, at this
Yeah, that's
point,
fine. You can ask me.
well, at this point, I think we're at a good spot. We're going to go ahead and end today's show. Hopefully more people will watch later and join our bracket picks. And I was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Richard. Richard really, even in text, he broke down the series. Really, I like what he does. I like his thought process. He's fun to listen to. And yes, I know he has a speech impediment. No issue for me. But he really talks about these series, and he has a real good in-depth understanding of what he thinks these series are going to do. And I enjoy listening to him.
Yeah, no, he gave some good insight. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna, Wendy had some balls to the wall. Definitely things in the West happening. I don't. For me, I don't think any of your picks were bad. And I think all the picks that we all made were pretty good. I think out of everything, I might have had the hottest take with Buffalo losing in the first round. I think that when I look at it like this, I think like people would say, oh, why would you take Ottawa? I think Ottawa really does have a good chance of upsetting, and I was contemplating putting them there. I just think that the Brindamore system, the fact that he is such a good coach, I don't know how this team is going to lose in the first round. I don't.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really, really solid good point. A lot of fun. Wendy did a bracket with me 2 years ago, and he came in last place. Right? I actually came in second in that one. Second or third. I had a really good bracket. Right? I had a really. That's the year that I think it was. I had picked the Rangers and Dallas to go. I'd actually picked the conference finals right. I had the Rangers and Florida, and I had Dallas and Edmonton. And I had picked Dallas and the Rangers, and Florida and Edmonton made it. So I think I was second or third in that group. But I was perfect in that, and I only missed one series. Like in the first round, I missed one series. Like I had only up to the conference finals, I had missed one series. And I got 3 of them, the games right. I had a really good pick that time.
Yeah, like I said, I think that this is going to be interesting because, like I said, there's a lot of teams that no one expected to be in this playoffs this year. That's why I kind of talked about the bracket being a certain way. For me, the Blues are not the Blues. Sorry, the Buffalo Sabres. They're just a team that, like I said, their rough patch has been for not being able, not being in the playoffs for so long. That's kind of been their rough pains. But yeah. I think Buffalo's got to have. I don't mean to like a St. Louis-esque kind of loss like they had last season in the playoffs, but I think that they still need to go through the growing pains of losing in the playoffs and learning. I think that's still going to be there for that team.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's nice to go from not making the playoffs for almost a decade and a half to winning your division. However, you're not going from not being in the playoffs for 14 years and a half to winning all 4 rounds. You might win one, but that's going to be it, right?
Buffalo, but Buffalo's going to be fun, though. I want them to win. I hope that they win because I don't care for Boston. But if Boston wins, the reason they win is because Swayman steals that series.
Yeah, and I absolutely could see that. I mean, 100%. Well, with that, Justin, I have a question to ask you.
What's that?
How do we end this show?
Where's the girls? Where are they at?
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
And just so you know, in that first video, I reached out to Jose Figueres today to try and see if we can get another video from his granddaughter and an updated one. And I'm also going to try and get Layla to update hers for next season. That'll be a lot of fun. Are you NHL fans ready for the question? Playoff fans, playoffs, are you ready for the question? Justin Scott, Justin Eagle Eye Scott, are you ready for the question?
I'm ready for the question.
Who's late for dinner?
It's chicken quesadillas. Where are the boys? Where they at?
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, for my co-host, Justin Eagle Eye Scott. And I want to say this from the bottom of my heart to Justin Scott. Thank you for this season. You were there during the hardest day that I went through this season. And through all the turmoil that's gone on, you're still there. You're hanging in. You're being part of the show. And from me, from my heart, I want to say thank you to you for being here on the Blue Note Fan Report.
I appreciate the opportunity to get my voice out there. I never forgot about that from day one. So I appreciate it. We've had a good season. Here's to many more. I hope that we continue to grow as a tandem and we continue to get out the best content that we can deliver.
I think we will. So this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying you got to know that I am bleeding blue with you.
And as always, even though it's the playoffs and the Blues aren't in it, it's Let's Go Blues.
This is Guy and Justin saying aloha mahalo, and we'll see you all next time on the Blue Note Fan Report. Aloha.